Hey guys, sorry about that. I thought I was
Hello.
logged on. It was not. Give me 2 seconds here. Okay. All right. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
All right. So I just figured out, I guess I'm the guinea pig for the back to in-person classes and Zoom. So this is kind of weird. I don't know where to look, okay? So just bear with me. Any questions, put them in the chat and we're going to go through them probably at the end, depending on, we have a lot of questions here in person. Does that seem fair?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So how many people we got here? We got, all right, we got 10 or so. Okay. So, but feel free to any questions. So, all right, guys, thanks for coming. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Put it in the chat if you can't. I'm gonna try to talk loud. All right, so my name is Jay Biederman, guys, and this is class for expireds, for sale by owners, and maybe a little bit of cold calling, okay? So a little bit about me is I started my career in corporate America with Chrysler Financial as customer service. We would spend 8 hours calling people for their past due car payments. All right, so that's 8-9 hours a day on the phone, the dialer, calling people for their past due payments. And then I eventually was a team leader. I was skip tracing, advanced collections. So talking on the phone is second nature for me, okay? I know it's not for everybody, but we'll talk about that as well. So 300 phone calls on a dialer a day was nothing. That was just normal day, right? But the big thing for me is why I like cold calling and expires is I'm a high D, right? Like I want to do stuff now. Like I'm from the Northeast, maybe that's what it is, you know, like just, I don't want to, you know, get it done. I like the idea because I can go every morning, have my list, hit it in the dialer and get going. I can knock out 30, 40 phone calls or accounts in an hour or whatever, right? I like open houses. I do open houses, but you know, like most of us, I drive 30 minutes, 15 minutes to put all my signs, 10 minutes to set up, sit there for 3 hours, talk to 2 people, and then 15 minutes to grab everything, and then 30 minutes to drive. That wasn't really the best ratio for me, right? So I like the idea of going on the dialer and knocking out 10 contacts, you know, touches in, you know, 30, 40, 50 minutes, whatever I decide to do. So that was kind of my mentality, right? I like to get it, I can knock it out much faster and more efficient. The other reason I like expires, and this just is probably like most of us, right? When I first got started, I was like, I have real no database, and I'm still one of those people, I don't want to call my database, right? I rather call other people, but it's new business. This is now business. This is people who wanted to sell or couldn't sell. This means you can get a paycheck in 30 days, 60 days, right? I like that. So that's kind of one of my plans was my business plan is, you know, Sphere, which is the long game, you know, the referrals and stuff like this, and then cold calling expireds for sale by owners for now business. For the last 5 years, over 33% of my business has been through expireds and for sale by owners. Now, I'm not saying I do 100 million deals a year, but just think, guys, 1 or 2 deals, how's that going to help you, right? If this is a new lead generation tool for you, just another tool in the tool belt, right? I have tons of examples where I called a person, they're like, yes, love for you to come check us out. And then bam, I got the buy and the sell, right? You know, that's, you know, almost $1 million a couple different times. So also, like I said, I mentioned it's efficient, and I think it's pretty cheap. I don't really spend money, especially when I first started off, on other lead gen, right? I didn't really spend money on Zillow, or now we have Facebook ads. You know, I didn't do postcards then. So the money I used was for my my sources for online. So everybody asked, where do you get the information from? So now Christy is nice enough to give us a list, right? Every morning, was it from Lori? Who? Laura. Yep. So you guys can get the list of the expireds of for sale by owners. Before you can get it off the MLS, but it doesn't have the contact information. So you would have to door knock or something like that. But most times you had to go to a source. I use Arch Agent. All right. We used to get them free back in the day with Bold. I don't think you can do that anymore. But it's a single dialer, and they'll get you all the information on expireds, for sale by owners. You can even do circle prospecting and stuff like that for, I forget, it's like $130 a month, right? It's not the best, but the other ones, and if you guys have any questions or somebody else can maybe jump in, the Vulcan 7s, the Mojos, those are a lot better, and they're multi, level, 3 dialers at once. But then you're talking about $500-$600 a month, right? So I'm okay with $130 a month roughly. So food for thought there. When to call? I think first thing in the morning is the best time, right? Around 8 o'clock, 8:30ish. Try to get a hold of them. It does work in the afternoon as well too. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But first, what are some of the fears and issues everybody has about cold calling people they don't know? None. Okay, so you guys are all rock stars. Cool. All right. So a lot of the fears
Jay,
is
one of the fears, rejection.
rejection. Okay, that's a big one, right? And people are just scared, they're scared of the rejection. What happens if they yell at me, right? That's a good one. It's not really fear, guys. There's nothing really to be afraid of, right? Because it's just a numbers game like anything else, like an open house. 10 people come in, you talk to 3 people, and one of them becomes a buyer, right? 10%, kind of the same thing. You might talk to 10 people and you get 3 appointments. So don't have to be scared about it. You're just asking them questions. We'll talk about scripts later, but just asking questions and trying to come, again, Keller Williams, how to help you. Let me help you, right? So if they freak out and are not professional or a jerk, I kind of put that as a self-screening. If they're mean and nasty, do you want to work with people like that? Right? So, and also same thing too with the for sale by owners. If they're just unrealistic, you might not want to spend your time with them. So the nice thing is too, guys, is you want to start your scripts, I think, are huge, okay? So everybody in training and also coaching, scripts. I'll talk to Lori if I can email some scripts out to you guys. It doesn't matter what you use as your script. There's so many good ones out there. Just know it inside and out and all the objections, okay? I like the analogy. It could be the worst script or whatever, but if you're awesome, it's going to work, right? So you can be a black belt Cobra Kai. It's going to be better than, speed reference, than Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is real. Does that make sense? So, but the big thing is you got to know your scripts inside and out. And that's to give you confidence. All right. So every morning, do your scripts, role play with people. I used to talk to my daughter, my dogs, and read them out. So I know my objections inside and out. Okay. All right. So we'll kind of go into real quick. The script part here is we all got the phone calls, right? Sir, Mr. J. B. Biderman, click, right? You can't do that. And you got to think these guys are getting called 200 times already, right? So you can't be doing that. And you can't start going, I'm calling about your click, right? We all get those phone calls. Hey, I'm calling about your extended warranty in your car. Oh my God, right? We all know what it sounds like and we hang up on those. So you have to know your scripts and ask and go confident, okay? Next, I think the big thing for you guys and everybody to do is your unique value proposition. You got to think too, the mindset. These guys are getting 30 phone calls. How are you going to separate yourself from everybody else? Okay. And as a new agent, there's still opportunities. So you can, talk to your coach or Laura or whoever about creating a unique value proposition. because I think the big thing is to get your foot in the door, start that rapport. Okay. Next is mindset. I think that's huge. You don't want to go in and go, oh, I got to go to the dollar. Oh my God, there's 50 calls, and oh, this for sale by owner is going to yell at me. You know, so I always have music playing, you know, whether it be little Dr. Dre 90s, you know, or, you know, Slipknot and Korn, you know, like whatever. I got something going in the background to keep me motivated, keep me going, right? If you have a bad call, it happens. Don't worry about it. Just shake it off. Go do a, you know, take a little walk, get a drink, coffee, do a push-up, whatever, right? So don't worry about that. Or you can do your affirmations, you know. I'm a lean, mean, appointment setting machine, whatever you guys do to get, you know, pumped up and active and get ready for it, okay? So the process is, you know, what I do is you get the list, right? And I have my service. So I dial it in, I already have it punched in the morning, takes 5 minutes, goes automatically to my dialer. So I have my 30 phone calls. I do is I pull it up 123 Main Street into MLS. All right, because first I want to make sure that it is canceled or expired, right? We're not calling people that are active. Number two is I don't want to call Mr. Smith about his house and go, oh, look, the agent is Mr. Smith, right? That's a waste call. It's not efficient. He's not going to sell the house. He's not going to let you list the house, right? He's an agent. So, you know, I always punch those in before I call that person. All right. And then too, you can say, hey, personal preference, you know, I don't want to go to Oklahoma to sell this house. I you know, skip it. Or, ooh, I know that development. I don't want to work in that development, you know? So you can do some of your business decisions there as well. Real quick for expireds, here's the script I use. Ready? So everybody get ready, pencils ready, right? So I'll use Steve as an example, right? So ring, ring. Hi, Steve. Hey, Steve, it's Jay with the Biederman Group. All right, so you see, I said, hi, Steve. It's not, hi, Mr. Smith, or whatever their potential for hanging up, right? I said, Jay with the Biederman Group, because we're Keller Williams, we can brand, that's awesome. I don't use Keller Williams because, again, they're probably getting 30 phone calls, right, from other Keller Williams agents. Again, in their mind, they probably think we're the same people harassing them, right? That's not the case. But we want to separate ourselves from everybody else. So I said, I'm Jay with the Biederman Group, local realtor. Hey, I know you're getting lots of phone calls about your 123 Main Street. I say that just again to kind of buffer that first objection, right? I'm getting tons of phone calls. So he might be like, yeah, I get tons of phone calls or whatever, right? Kind of a little bit, starting to rapport a little bit, right? And this is me. This might be different for someone else, right? So you got to get your own style. And you do this enough, you'll get your own style. I know you're getting lots of phone calls. I just ask you real quick, what do you think stops your home from selling? And then let him answer. All right. So this is where they're going to self-filter themselves and go, hey, I'm tired of this. I don't need this, blah, 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 and whatever. And they're mean. Go, okay, on to the next one, right? No reason to get upset. No reason to be, you know, mad. Just go, okay. He wasn't a good client for me anyway. Go on to the next one. Because you know, at least for me, when I run my numbers, 3 out of 10 people I talk to, I get an appointment. And 2 of those appointments, I'm getting a listing. So it's just in the number. So it's just, again, that's goes to the mentality. All right, next one. Okay, does that make sense for everybody? Okay. So be quiet, let them talk. And then that's when they give you all the secret sauce. They go, yes, my agent didn't market it, didn't show it, had 1 open house, you know, they only put a sign in the front yard, right? They're giving you all the information. So notes, guys, make sure you put notes on everything, right? Whether it be a pad or in, you know, Arch Agent, I'm putting in there what they're saying, okay? What we do not do is go, oh, Charles was your agent? Oh my God, that's the worst agent ever. He is horrible, blah, 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 blah. We don't do that, right? We be professional. We don't say anything negative about the other agents. But, you know, we go, okay, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, sir. No, I understand. I'm looking at your development, saw yours come up, and I noticed other homes sold 3, 4, 5, 7 days, and yours been on market 89 days. I was just curious. Yeah, just to get the talk going. It looks like a great house. Can I ask why you're moving? Right? Now it gets into the motivation part, which I think is most important because especially right now in the shift in the current market, we don't want to waste our time on non-motivated people. So they might go, oh, I'm just testing the market. Well, again, it's a business decision for you. Do you want to try to spend your time and money on someone that's trying to test the market? Or maybe they go, hey, yes, my wife's sick. I don't need a 4,000 square foot house. We're looking for a downsize. She's getting out of the hospital and she has a wheelchair. So we need this all done in 45 days, something like that. Those people are motivated. Or I'm moving to Florida in 2 months and I need to sell the house in a month, right? Those are motivated people, right? So number one, you got why they think their home didn't sell. And then number two, their motivation. I think that's the two biggest things, right? So then I always ask for the appointment, right? You go, and that's when you throw in your unique value proposition, right? For me, I go, hey, I'm very successful helping homeowners in your situation get the home sold when it didn't sell the first time for one reason or another. I love the opportunity to talk to you and see what I can do to help you. Are you free for 20 minutes this afternoon? 4 or 5, right? And that's it. And I always put in my notes too, ask for appointment, right? And that's when they go yes or no, right? It's easy, yes or no. So you're kind of setting them up, guys, like a boxer, right? You go jab, 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 and you're going to jab and he's going to duck, right? You know what he's going to do, so you can time it. So if he says no, go, oh, great. When's a good time? I'm planning on relisting next month. Perfect. Put in the notes next month. Or now a lot of times I'm going to relist in spring. Perfect. I love the opportunity to follow up with you, right? And then now the key is follow up. Because most of the calls, guys, our people are going to be following up, right? So that's huge. I did get one today that I have an appointment in an hour and a half. So, that does happen. But a lot of them are follow-up. So follow-up is the key. So I use E-Edge where you put the task. So I can go, okay, guy wants to get followed up in spring. I'm going to call him in February, right? And then put him in the drip system, all that stuff, right? Because a lot of people are getting phone calls the first couple of days and that's it, right? So depending on where they are they looking for someone to sell now or later? You already have the notes and you can do a game plan. Does that make sense? Pretty easy. All right, let me see here. Time of day, I think first thing in the morning, right? Looking at the questions here. I do use command. Correct, but I have it all set up where it goes into, and me and command aren't working too well some days. I think the first thing in the morning for the questions. Okay, so we got those questions done. So that's it, guys. Just kind of get them talking. Why do you think the home didn't sell, right? Why are you moving? Okay, and then lately I've been asking, oh, how did you happen to pick your agent? If someone says, hey, I'm going to relist next year. You go, oh, okay, great. Well, I'd love the opportunity to help you. Are you open to interviewing new agents? I even ask them straight up. Yes. And then I go, oh, how did you happen to pick your agent? That's a new question I've been asking. It's kind of market research. If they say it's my sister or brother-in-law, again, business decision. Do you want to, spin your wheels on someone that might probably not pick you? They might be nice saying now yes to the interview, but they might not later on. You know what I mean? Or they might say, hey, this agent helped me in my last 5 houses, right? So again, it depends on how the conversation goes and your feel. But that way we have the motivation. We understand what they think the reason is not, and then we know if there's any other competition. Does that make sense? Okay. For sale by owners, I think are a little harder. I think expireds are easier because they're trying to sell the home. And of course, some of these test the water ones, I'm selling the house for 500 grand and clearly, they're using the Spark, the MLS 500, and you pull up in comps and you see everything's 300, that might not be a motivated client, right? But everybody else potentially, right, is expired listing or canceled, means they were really trying to. And the nice thing of that is when you get to the listing appointment, you have the secret sauce. I always start off, hey, we talked the other day, you mentioned it didn't sell because marketing and this and that. And that's all you have to really go over, really. And you have your listing presentation almost planned out what they want. Oh, I want open houses. Great. I do an open house every weekend. It's time with me, Aggressive marketing, here you go, right? Here's my marketing plan. So I think that's nice. Now, for sale by owners are a different breed, right? There's a lot of easy ones, right? I have people, and it's a numbers game like anything else. I have people go, oh, I was waiting for someone to call me. Can you come over today at noon? Signed up and I sold it in a day. That happens. I had one a couple of months ago, said, you know what, Jay? We liked your personality. You weren't pushy like everybody else. Can you meet with us, tonight? I got that listing, right? So for sale by owners, what I do is, hey, I saw your listing. Well, first I go, hey, 123 Main Street, is that sold? No. Great, who am I talking to? Right? I'm the owner, Mike. Perfect, It might be, hey, I'm the son-in-law. I'm selling my house for my mother. She's in the hospital or whatever, right? So we want to know who we're talking to. Because this might not be the decision maker. This might be the wrong number. We don't know. But we talk to the owner and go, great, sir, I'm Jay with the Beedham Group, local realtor. I saw your home put up for sale. Just curious, is there anything special you can tell me about the house that I otherwise wouldn't have picked up from the ad? Okay, so just explain it, right? Most people are going to be happy to talk about their house, especially when they're trying to sell it. Oh, okay, yeah, we got brand new gutters and a brand new roof and this and that and everything else, right? So let them talk. Because again, you got to think too that they're getting tons of phone calls from agents, right? Come list with me. I sell homes. And there's a lot of scripts out there that are really direct and I think a little pushy. That's in my opinion. Do they work? Sure. Everything works, right? But I just ask, tell me about your house. And then I go, oh, it sounds like a great house. Can I ask why you're moving? Again, there's your motivation. Oh, yeah, well, we got a new job. Got to move up to New York in 2 months or whatever, right? Oh, we thought we could downsize and buy an RV or something, right? So you get their motivation, get a good temperature of the motivation. Then you can just go in for the appointment and stuff too. Hey, as a local, your unique value proposition. It's a local expert. I know what's on and off the market. Love the opportunity to talk to you to show you what I have done to help a lot of homeowners in your situation. Are you free today for 20 minutes to talk? Yes or no. From my experience, guys, for sale by owners normally say no. They want to, test the water, and normally because they want to save the 3%, right? Normally it's about 2 weeks, 2 weeks to a month tops. All right. And this is kind of the hard part is for sale by owners is how aggressive you want to be, right? I'll call them like every week, just do the Monday check-in. Hey, how was the showings? Any offers? Oh no, okay. I see your neighbor down the street just sold or won the contract or something like that, right? And then I always ask for the appointment. Okay, hey, you want to meet and just talk about what I can do to help you get this sold? I know you need to get to New York in a couple months. No, not ready yet. Okay. Touch base again, like, hey, you said the other week you'll be open to interviewing in 2 weeks. I'm just seeing when's a good time, right? It's an easy conversation. So there's some of those issues you guys are worried about, rejection and everything else. You're already following what they said, I've had people go, hey, I told you stop calling or get upset. I'm like, you told me to call and touch base, beginning of October, Oh, sorry. That's right. I did tell you that. She doesn't remember, but I have it in the notes and, oh, I'm sorry. And then she feels bad. And then, okay, so that's kind of how it is. Just get the rapport going, right? So for sale by owners, a lot of times is a little bit of follow-up, but you want to be a little bit more direct because it stinks. And same thing with expireds. You'll talk to them, you have a good rapport. They say they're not doing anything for 2 months, and then 3 weeks later, you'll see it's listed with somebody else. It's going to happen, guys, right? So that's kind of the game where how aggressive do you want to be, right? The same thing with the for sale by owners. You'll see the same thing. You'll say, nope, I'm not listing it. I'll be dead before I do a listing agent, and then you'll see it's active on MLS, right? So, but again, for the for sale by owners, I wouldn't feel bad because you'll see there might be, those 1% listings and things like that, which is fine because then you'll hit them up again in 3 months when the listing expires. I've done that many times too. I pulled it up and go, oh yeah, Mike, remember me? I called you about your house. Yeah, I see it didn't sell. And now you're 30 grand under where I would have sold it. Are you free? No, you don't say that. But again, that's kind of the cat and mouse game, all right? Because there's, again, you talk to 10 people, one person might say, hey, come list with me. You get 3 nurtures, and that's the big thing I'm looking for is nurtures. So it depends where you are in your business. Starting out, I wanted contacts. Then I wanted nurtures, and then I wanted appointments. And that's how I gauged my weekly progress. If you have any questions about that, ask your coaches. Any questions about that so far? Good, thumbs up. Let me see if I can do this. Oh, there we go. We can see some of the faces now. All right. So next was follow-up key is key. So eEdge, whatever system you're doing, Excel, put reminders. For sale by owner Monday follow-up, right? Expired listing appointment in a month, right? What I do is email them and go, hey, it was great talking to you. Looking forward to earning your business, getting your home sold and getting you to New York. Here's my pre-listing packet, some information. I've been doing this long enough where I have an expired success sheet where prior agent, 160 days, I sold it in 3 days, a whole bunch of those. I sold it 4% over list price. Prior agent couldn't sell it. Again, just something to separate yourself from everybody else. The listing appointment, same thing with the for sale by owners, guys, and you probably want to listen to other stuff, is it's a lot easier, I think. Right? Because you kind of look, as we talk about, listing, it doesn't sell because it's probably price, condition, or showing, right? So it doesn't show well, which means it's dirty, it's nasty, it's yucky. Condition's kind of the same thing, or the pictures are bad, excuse me. But the house is bad, price and condition are equal there. So we kind of know what the problem is. And that's where I had tons of good success where you go, hey, here's the comps. I'm being open and honest with you. Your house should be 340. Here's 10 houses similar that sold just like yours. And I had wives looking at their husbands like, with daggers in their eyes because, and I hear that all the time. If our agent was open and told us, we would have had it sold and been, here and there. Or pricing dropped, and they lost money because they didn't do that. So I think it's a lot easier to do that. Go in there, you already have, it's kind of the forensic report, right? Hindsight's 2020. So you kind of know, all right, yeah, I would have did 400, but now the market rejected it. So yeah, let's do, 380 and good success. But the big thing is to say follow-up, summary, or not summary, just stay on top of them, touch base with them, give them, maybe send them CMAs if they're waiting for March or April. Maybe in a month or two, go, hey, just looking at your development, want to keep you up to date on your market. Here's a CMA, keep you up to date on your market and your values. I know you wanted to meet in May. Tell me if there's anything I can do before then, or if you want to meet sooner and start game planning, So it's an easy touch. Any questions? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep, efficient. So
I wasn't doing it. I've been doing it more right now. Also, more people don't even answer the phone.
Correct. Yep. That's a great question, guys. I don't know if you heard that. So majority of the people won't answer the phone. I am for voicemails. I think my experience, I've been asking everybody who does this, it's like 50-50. Some people don't, some people do. I'm calling already. They already have my caller ID. I might as well just leave a voicemail, right? Sadly enough, people who call you back most times are, hey, it's the wrong number. Stop calling me or whatever, right? But It can't hurt, right? They go, oh yeah, you've been following up with me for 3 weeks now. Yeah, I've heard those too. So it's up to you about leaving voicemails. But the nice thing about leaving voicemails is that's your elevator pitch. You do that 50 times a day, I'm pretty sure your elevator pitch is going to be tight, right?
So what do you do? What kind of do you do if they don't?
Pretty much that. Just, hi, this is Jay with the Biederman Group, local realtor. I noticed your home is off market. I know you get lots of calls, just have a lot of questions, curious what you think didn't sell, why your home didn't sell. Give me a call, 214, blah, blah, blah. Pretty much like that. That's kind of your unique value, not your unique value. That's your quick pitch getting in the door. Or, there's times where you pull up MLS and you say 90 days on market expired, but you see the neighbors sold in 5, 7, 3, same thing. Hey, I'm just a local expert and watching, your development, I would name it and go, hey, I see your home didn't sell. It was on market 90 days, but your neighbor sold in 5 and the other one sold in 4. And just want to get some information. Can you, love to talk to you. Give me a call. So you can probably figure out a million different ways. There's a million ways to skin this cat. The big thing, guys, I think is consistency, right? Do this every morning, and more importantly, the follow-up. I use the analogy of, if you just do 3 push-ups a day, right? Everybody can do 3 push-ups, but if you do 3 push-ups a day for 90 days, you're going to be in probably pretty good shape. Same thing, you get 1 or 2 nurtures. Next thing you know, you have a big pipeline of people to call a potential business. Does that make sense? Okay. I think I went through everything. You guys have any questions? I think we're doing good on time. That's it. No questions. Everybody's good?
Jay, how many expireds do you call a day?
It depends on the day, right? So like the first, everybody knows, is the biggest day. Everybody expires. So that might be 30, 40. And depending on your system, right? So Arch Agent is I can create areas and zip codes and stuff where I want to call. So I'm not calling South Dallas. I live in Frisco. I'm not driving 40 minutes, and I'm not driving up to, Sherman. So I can create a radius where I want. And the price point, right? I don't want to call and spin my wheels for a 50 grand house. I'd rather do a 300 grand house or whatever. So you can set up your criteria just like in MLS. So today, over the weekend, I didn't call anybody. And then today, I think I had like 30 some. And then of course, disclaimer, do not call list, guys. We all follow the do not call list. So if you're getting the list from Lori, make sure you go on the do not call and make sure it's not on there. If you have a service like Arch Agent, I do, there's buttons to click to make sure that they do not call. So like today I got 20, I had about 20, no, I had 30 contacts. So it all depends. And that's the other point, sorry, to add that too. So I'll call today, and then maybe I'll call in like 3 days. And then I'll call maybe in a week later. And I'll bunch them up, and like I just did today for October, and I called all the early Octobers from weeks ago. I just called last week, August, because I gotta think the mentality of a for sale by, expired is they're all happy their home's on market, it didn't sell, they're pissed off, they're getting 500 phone calls, they're not answering the phones, right? So you circle back in a week or so, they might answer the phone or be in a lot better mood. I've got one guy, I called him 3 times, he was a jerk, he hung up on me every time. But he hung up. I'm like, okay, hung up. I'll call you back later. Called him 3 weeks later. He's like, yeah, I need to sell. I'm frustrated. Are you free? Yes, I am. So a little tip there. You don't have to call just today. Majority of people call the day of. That's it. But if you call 3 months later, 4 months later, do your little sales pitch. Now's a great time. Less competition, low inventory due to COVID, still have low rates. Have you thought about selling? How about we get you to New York? You be in your new home for the holidays. Would that work for you? So there's a little scripts and sales things you can use.
Will you share how you set your follow-up system up?
Okay, so the question was the follow-up. So I use eEdge. So I have it set up for Arts Agent. So I put all my notes, talk everything with the guy, you know, he said it was overpriced, this and that. I'll put in there interested. It gets pushed right into eEdge. You can do this with Command as well too. It goes into eEdge as a lead. So after I'm done the dialer, after my lead gen, I circle back, I change the lead to hot. I make sure the email is correct. That's one of the things I always ask for is an email. We already have a phone number, but a good nurture, I want the email. So I have name, address, phone number, and email. What I do is, hey, I want to send you some information. Do you have a good email for you? Most of the time, they're going to say yes. So anyway, so I update eEdge. I email whatever I need to do, right, to them. And then I put a task, right, is, you know, a meeting or a phone call, and I'll put there, you know, 3 days, follow up for the email, packet email. 3 months, follow up for a listing appointment. So when I come up in the morning after my dialer, I hit my task for eEdge and I have to call 5 people. So I already know what I have to do today. Does that help? You can do that in Command as well. Set my command, when I hit the buttons, it doesn't work. So, but it's pretty easy, guys. It's just consistency. You just do the same thing every day, you know, or every other day. Stay on top of it, and you'll get your scripts really tight, and you'll start getting those easy deals. I mean, like I said, I got one today that we're meeting at 3:30. Sure. Yeah, I can ask Lori and email you, but pretty much what I told you. You know, for sale by owners is tell me about your house, and expireds is, you know, what do you think stopped it from selling? You know, I'm just trying to get my foot in the door. There's so many good ones. I have a giant folder, huge, of, you know, Tom Ferry, Mike Ferry, Bold, and all some of the big rock stars from Keller Williams as well. You can easily just Google expired scripts and see a whole bunch. So I would advise find the one that best fits you, right? You don't want to have a pushy, aggressive one if you're not that person, right? So find the one that best fits for you. I think they're all great, as long as you know them inside and out. Yeah, yeah. You can get the Larkins, you can get Larkin Group, Heil, he has some good stuff too. But I like really, for me personally, short and sweet and to the point. All right, because I think, and some of the long, bold ones, people are going to hang up, you know. But why are you calling me? You know, that's why I'm like, hey, just saw your home didn't sell. Other ones did. Just curious why you think it didn't sell. You know, short, sweet, done. And the big thing, guys, is don't rush through your scripts. I know as a new agent doing this, you're going to try to rush through them. And that just makes it worse. If anything, do it slower. All right. You know, if you go, oh, I just Jay, I just want to work, you know, that doesn't work. But if you go, hi, this is Jay, I'm curious why your home didn't sell. You know, some of that inflation and right, did I say that right? Inflation. But that gets you maybe a little tongue in cheek too. It's a gorgeous house. Why didn't it sell? You know, you don't have to do it perfect, but that's where you learn the script and you internalize it. Please repeat the questions. Okay, I did. Did need me to repeat any of them? And then, guys, the same thing too is, you know, I'll call people 4 o'clock sometimes, you know, after school, you know, sometimes on Saturdays, you know, I don't do it personally that much. I'm doing other things, but just mix it up. You know, maybe that's where you don't leave a voicemail, you just call, but that's up to you. because you think everybody's calling them early in the morning. I heard people are calling them way earlier than that, 8 o'clock. I personally don't, because I know me, I would be upset if someone's calling me before 8 o'clock. You know, just like you said, if you're gonna tell a dialer, telemarketer, how would you feel? But the big thing is, guys, for me, I just come from the service. Hey, I help lots of people in your situation. What can I do to help you? I'm not trying to be bossy and commission breath, I've sold 200 homes. Our team's the best in the DFW. But that, like I said, that's just my personality, and that's how I do it. Any other questions?
No, typically,
Mhm. Mm-hmm. Yep. No, yeah, you don't say what your agent didn't do, because that's negative. You just ask, what do you think stopped your home from selling, right? Or something like along those lines. And they might say, hey, our agent was horrible. And you just go, oh, okay. Well, why is that? You get them talking. You got the foot in the door. That's the hardest part. Because you get a lot of people that say, no, I'm not interested, and hang up. The best answer I love is, hey, why did your house not sell? I took it off market. Really? It was on the market 240 days. You didn't sell because you took it off market. Yeah, that's great. But you'll hear some funny things like that. But that's the same thing. You know what? Don't worry about it. Circle back in a week later. The Zoom people, any questions? Good. Was it weird? We have all the cool screens here. Have you guys been to the office yet?
This is awesome. Thank you, Jay.
No problem. Hopefully it was beneficial to everybody. If you guys have any questions, feel free to email me. I'll ask Lori. I'll send her the 2 scripts I use. Like I said, any of them are great. And hopefully it was beneficial. Thumbs up.
Jay, thanks so much.
No problem. All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
I think